Lately, I've been experiencing some strange things. There's a secluded street near my neighborhood where hardly any pedestrians or cars ever pass by. The area beside the road is overgrown with weeds and is still an undeveloped wasteland. I often walk along this road, trying to calm my chaotic thoughts and remember something important. On this particular day, I was wandering aimlessly along the road as usual until I passed by the wasteland and heard a strange sound. It was a sound that felt strangely familiar to me. I instinctively turned my head to look, and in that wasteland, I saw a child squatting there. Next to him was a small bucket, and he was holding a little shovel digging at something in the ground. The child was filthy, and it seemed like he noticed me watching him, but he just glanced at me briefly before quickly looking back down at the ground, his hands never pausing for a second. What was he digging for? I didn't know either. I glanced at him from a distance. His bucket was still empty. The kid looked younger than me, probably a first grader. I remember when I was in first grade, our science teacher also had us dig for earthworms in the dirt. Maybe he was doing something like that too. I was confused and wanted to go over and ask, but seeing that it was getting late, I decided I'd better hurry home to find my mom, or else she'd start to worry. So I didn't think much of it and left it at that. But then, the next day, when I passed by the vacant lot again, that uncomfortable sound of the shovel reached my ears once more. Sure enough, on the vacant lot by the roadside, that familiar figure appeared again. The kid was still squatting in the dirt with an empty plastic bucket next to him. He still looked dirty, but he didn't seem to care at all. He just kept his head down, digging at something in the ground with his little shovel. Not only that, but on the third, fourth, and fifth days, as if he had made an appointment with someone, he showed up here every day, doing the same thing. What exactly was he digging for? Was he looking for something? I glanced over from a distance again, and every day that bucket was always empty. Puzzled, I finally decided to slowly approach where he was. There were a few small mounds of dirt gathered around the child. The ground was covered with lots of little holes. Digging alone wasn't enough. He also used his hands to scoop out the loose soil, searching for something inside. Then he muttered to himself, "Where is it? Where on earth is it?" "What are you digging for?" I asked tentatively. Almost as soon as I spoke, his body trembled slightly, but even after a long while, he kept his head down and didn't answer my question. Not only that, it was as if he treated me like I was invisible and just kept digging into the ground. The scene left me even more confused. I lowered my head a bit, trying to lean in for a closer look, but just then I suddenly noticed that his eyes, hidden in the shadow cast by his bowed head, were darting nervously in my direction. From his gaze, I seemed to sense a trace of unease that sent a chill down my spine. What's going on with him? "I don't know where is it?" he kept mumbling, and the sound of the shovel echoed in my ears again and again, making my head throb even more. My thoughts were still a mess, and the more I thought about it, the more uncomfortable I felt. Finally, I walked away from him and headed back to the roadside. This guy is probably just a weird kid, I thought. That's getting late anyway, so I'd better head home. Suddenly, my attention was drawn to a TV playing inside a small shop by the roadside. The TV was broadcasting a news report, apparently about a recent violent incident. Recently, a brutal murder case in Mifflin City has attracted widespread attention. According to reports, the suspect is a middle-aged man who has a son with a woman. About a year ago, after this man divorced his wife, since custody of the child was awarded to the father, the child had been living with him ever since. But no one could have expected that not long ago, the man was found to have committed suicide at home, and his child was missing. The Mifflin City police discovered a large amount of the child's blood in the man's home, as well as some tools believed to have been used in the crime. The initial assessment is that the man killed his child, disposed of the body, and then committed suicide at home. The police still do not know the man's motive, and up to now, the Mifflin City police have yet to find the victim's body. The man also did not leave behind any note before his suicide. The police are still investigating information related to how the body was disposed of and where it might be hidden. Right after that, the screen showed photos of the suspect and the missing child whose body is yet to be found. When I saw those photos clearly, it felt like an electric shock ran through my body. Staring at the TV screen, I was completely frozen in place because I saw an incredibly familiar face on the television. Hey, is that you? Are you here again today? Did you find any of those bugs? Still haven't found any? Maybe just give up. There aren't any of those bugs you talked about in this whole bag. Next time, don't lie and say you can see things other people can't. But come on, it was just a bet, right? It's better to just admit you lost than to keep coming here and getting all dirty. Let's go.
Can you see me? You can see me, right? I remember everything now.
I remember everything. My body is buried somewhere around here. Please dig it up. Don't go. I'm begging you. Please dig it up. Please, I'm begging you. Dig it up.